Okay, great. So now we're already live. Maybe we wait just 2 minutes for people to give the people the time to join in us. Okay, people is joining, so yeah, let's wait one more minute. At least in Italy or Spain, always is necessary to give a couple of minutes. Okay. So if you are ready, let's start. Let's start. So thank you very much to everyone for joining us today, and thank you so much to Stanislav Ivanov to be our speaker today. We have been discussing before launching the webinar, and it's very interesting. Probably most of you are joining through the Hospitality Robotics group, our community on LinkedIn, and Stanislav was the first speaker ever to join one of our webinars. That was in 2022, actually, in 2020, actually in May, if I'm not wrong. And that time we were speaking about his first book, Robotics, Artificial Intelligence and Automation Technologies in Food Service, Hospitality, and Tourist Industries. If I remember the title properly. So Stanislav, for those of you that doesn't know him, is a professor at the University of Varna and the director of Thangador Institute. So Stanislav, thank you very much for being here today with us.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
So thank you. As I said, in 2020, we have been discussing and speaking about your first book. So now you are launching a new book. So what inspired you to write this let's say 2.0 version of your first book?
Yeah. Actually, historically, this is the first book that was planned to write, Future Tourism in a Robonomic World. But while we started writing this book, we realized that actually we need to write first about robots, artificial intelligence, and service automation in travel, tourism, and hospitality. So we quickly realized with Craig that we were jumping into tourism, into robotic tourism to zero without before explaining what are the current technologies. That's why the previous book, which on robots, artificial intelligence, and service automation in travel, tourism, and hospitality, was focusing on technologies that were at that time available in 2019, and it had a time horizon of about 10 years ahead into the future, so somewhere around 2030. This new book is focusing on the profound changes on economic, social, political that will result from technological progress within the next 40, 50 years. And so this is the main focus of the book.
Thank you so much. So Robonomics, let's explain our attendees what means Robonomics exactly.
Robonomics is a new term. It is a part of economics that deals with robots, artificial intelligence, and other automation technologies that are used as a production factor instead of human employees. This means that companies are using technologies and they are minimizing the use of labor as a production factor. This in Robonomics, this is happening on the level of companies. We have artificial autonomous agents, which are computer programs that take decisions, buy and sell assets, hiring, firing employees, do different tasks. And these decisions, then they have significant repercussions for the rest of society. As a whole, Robonomics can also be seen as an economic system as well, not only as a subfield of economics. As an economic system, Robonomics is an economic system where companies use these technologies, but the use of labor is minimized. This means that the majority of people in society will not be working. This will also mean that the sources of their incomes will be different. The structure of their time will be different. This will have significant repercussion on the way they will think, on political rights, and many other things.
Fascinating, very interesting. In your book, you talk about the future history of tourism. What do you mean? Can you explain that?
Future history of tourism. What we looked with Craig was we wanted to show that tourism is going to have a significant change as a result of the advent of the Robonomic economic system. And we were thinking that there is no better way but to explain it in a way in the form of a diary of a person who is traveling. We chose 2 years, which one is 1968, which, by the way, is the date of birth of Craig, the year birth of Craig. That's why we chose that year. And then 100 years later, 2068. That's why the time frame of our book is 2068. The person in 2068 is following the same steps as the person in 1968, but observes the changes that are happening in the field of technology, payment systems, in hotels, in restaurants, culinary, etc. Also, we have a separate chapter that shows how these changes from 1968 to 2068, how we envision that they will happen, and how these technologies will actually impact on tourism. It is called Future History of Tourism just because the explanations about 2068 are in the form of a diary of a person who actually traveled.
Probably it's a very interesting approach. Very interesting approach. I think, comparing probably them, how to, let's say, two different people in two different historical moments can see how everything has changed and how technology has impacted, in this case, the tourism industry. Going back to Robonomics, I think it's a very interesting concept. Can you tell us more about the drivers and the principle of Robonomics?
Yeah, this is a great question. Practically, we set the foundations of Robonomics in this book, and the second part of the book is directly dedicated to this. We can say that the principles of Robonomics are as follows. First, we have artificial autonomous agents that are used as production factor and as economic agents. This means that the computer programs make economic decisions. This is very important because when we have a mobile application that only helps us lock and unlock a door in a hotel, it does not take any economic decisions. While if a computer program makes the decisions whether to hire us or fire us, or to evaluate our performance, or to buy and sell stocks on the financial markets, or to determine the prices of our hotel, or to choose from which supplier to buy specific service, then these artificial autonomous agents, they become substantial economic players. In Robonomics, we also have automated decision making. This means that humans transfer significant part of the decision making to artificial autonomous agents. We can have human only approach in decision making, human in the loop, human on the loop, or human off the loop. Human in the loop approach, artificial intelligence recommends a decision, but the human has to confirm it. In human on the loop, artificial intelligence takes and implements a decision, but the human can override it. And in human off the loop or out of the loop approach, the human cannot override the decision. In the Robonomic system, more and more of these decisions will be transferred to AI. Also in Robonomics, we'll have active use of a variety of different single multi-purpose robots, industrial service, social robots. So tourism employees, they will work with robotic colleagues. We'll have high level of automation of production, high cost efficiency, high level of standardization of services. But we will also have small and dispersed automated factories which are close to consumers. So probably we will see nearshoring of production facilities and small factories, which will also be economically feasible. We will not need large factories, but small ones, which will also produce at low costs. Probably some of the more important ones are that we will have disconnection between employment and incomes. In Robonomic society, overwhelming majority of people, they will not work. And or they will be involved in other activities that are not necessarily remunerated by on the basis of employment contract. And because of this, there will be a separation between incomes and employment. Societies will need to find solutions that people have some incomes in other ways. Labor and capital abundance in a robonomic society are not sources of competitive advantage. The fact that you produce something cheap will not give you a competitive advantage, but knowledge and creativity will give you. And we'll have fewer but more knowledge-intensive jobs. These are the principles of robonomics, more or less the characteristics that will determine this future economic system. There are different drivers of this, and which can hint us that societies and economies are going in this direction. The first, these are macro-environmental factors. The advances of automation technologies. Things that were previously very difficult to do, now they are mainstream because technology allows this. And imagine what will happen in the future. But the most important driver, from my perspective, this is demography. Because when you have aging populations and that lead to lack of sufficient and qualified human employees on the labor market, then companies will be forced to adopt automation technologies, not because they want, but because they are forced to do. They are just not sufficient employees on the labor market. Also, we will have a legal framework like different laws like safety and security, hygiene, taxation, labor legislation, anti-discrimination laws, which in one way or another push companies to use technologies instead of human employees. We also have corporate levels like the economic efficiency, productivity, the desire to streamline operations of companies, and finally, some psychological factors like managers' preferences to use automation technologies, robots, and AI rather than human employees. So there are also many other factors that I explained in the book that directly or indirectly stimulate or at least create the environment that is supporting the use of automation technologies. And these factors will only increase their importance in the future.
Yeah, good. No, interesting, because you mentioned, let's say, AI agents or machines taking decisions, and I think we already can see a little bit of that in the hospitality industry, because nowadays many hotel chains are deploying advanced revenue software solutions that are able to take some kind of small tactic decisions to
Mhm.
adapt prices to demand, etc. So I think it's some kind of a example of something that is already here, or is already landing on the market. So how do you think Robonomics will change the tourist from both sides, from the, let's say, from the operator side, and of course also from the guest profile, let's say?
Mhm. Yeah, this is a great question. If I can continue directly with your example, we really have revenue management systems which recommend different prices, and here we have different approaches in how these prices are implemented. We can have an approach of a human in the loop, when the system recommends a new price, but it is up to the revenue manager to accept this price, and it to be implemented, it to be visualized across all distribution channels. Or human on the loop approach, where the system makes the decisions, visualizes it across the distribution channels, but but the revenue manager can override this decision. However, there are not many hotels that are actually using such an approach. Now, think if this becomes massive, and if these revenue management systems have access to current data in real time, they will be able to see what prices other hotels are offering in the area, and they will be able to react very quickly to decreases in the prices. So if I have a hotel that decide to decrease and my artificial autonomous agent decides to decrease my price, then your autonomous agent will see this price change and will match the new price immediately, and this will happen before I make any booking. So practically, we will both lose. So I will not have a stimuli to decrease the price. But not only this, if you as a customer, you will also have an artificial autonomous agent which will be able to check the prices and book hotels and cancel bookings if a better option is available. So so practically there will be no stimuli for my AI to increase the prices, but also to decrease the prices, because in both cases, either your autonomous agent as a customer or as a supplier will match this price immediately, or will buy from another supplier. So we may see slightly higher price stability than we currently see, because there will be more information available and more time to react. But the main issue in Robonomics is that tourism companies will become more automated in the front of house operations, in the back of house operations. We will largely have two groups of companies. One that will have complete automation in the front of house operations. They will have also automation in the back of house, although some of the procedures in the back of house might not be automated, and they may have human employees there. On the other extreme, we will have companies that find their competitive advantage in offering human delivered services. So they will not have automation there in the delivery, although they will use some form of digital technologies, probably regarding the pricing. But for the back of house operations, definitely many of their operations will be automated. In between these, there will be different variations, but overall, we will have more companies that will have automated delivery of the service than non-automated. So that we may say that on average, the level of the average employment in tourism may actually decrease in the future. Also in tourism, we will have we may even have a situation where we have completely automated tourist companies. This is even now possible with online travel agencies. You can have automated bookings from the agency to the hotels, and automated recording of bookings from the customers to in the OTA, and then going to the hotels. All the procedures in an OTA can be largely automated. So at one point, we may see some companies that may be really completely automated. At least for the moment, I'm not familiar of such a company. We will have in tourism, we will have autonomous vehicles, which means that tourists they will be they might be more flexible. We will have more efficient transportation, more sustainable, and we will have technology that is used for personalization of experiences, but experiences not only for tourists but also for the employees. We may also have a situation when tourists are traveling with their own personal robots, social robots. They have a robot at home, a social robot at home that is helping them, probably not preparing their bed, but because this is a high complex physical task for automation, but to make them company.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you already advanced my next question, no? Because I was asking you which kind of services or products you think that will be automated in the tourism industry.
Well, practically, from my perspective, nearly every service that customer receives can be automated. It is a matter of proper use of technologies and costs. Of course, the fact that something can be automated does not mean that it will be automated, because it may be extremely expensive. For example, room service is a task that can be automated, and many hotels are using room service delivery robots already. But if a room service delivery robot is extremely expensive, then for the hotel, it will not be economically feasible to invest in this technology. Because for the hotel will need many years in order to recover the investment. But if the robot is offered in the form of a robot as a service, so renting rather than buying the robot, and if this rental price is good, then this is possible to be automated. Cooking can be automated. Cleaning can be automated. Everything that is cognitive can be automated with chatbots, with generative AI applications, etc. A few months ago, with a colleague of mine, we published an article in which we developed a business plan for a hotel, a marketing plan for a hotel entirely with ChatGPT. So it is, and this is considered a highly skilled task that requires a lot of knowledge. But it was very easy to develop this with just the right prompts within a couple of hours. So many tasks will be automated, but most services can be automated. The question is whether it will be economically feasible. But technological development works in favor of technology costs and not labor costs. So technology will become more economically competitive compared to labor.
Yeah, you spoke about robots. That is a field that I know very well now, because as you know, I work for a delivery robotics company. So actually, we have many of our robots accomplishing room service tasks in many hotels in Europe and around the world. But yeah, as you said, there are many barriers. Probably the first ones are economical barriers. So it depends how much the robot or any kind of software or hardware costs and the return of the investment. But let me make you a question about robot. How do you think that let's say hospitality robotics friendly hospitality facilities looks like? Because most of the times the main barrier actually for the deployment of robots are the facilities. Most of the times are not suitable, even let's say for humans with some kind of maybe accessibility issues, and of course are not suitable for robots.
Yeah, this is a great question, and this is really one of the main barriers for adopting mobile robots in hotels and restaurants. Practically, the requirements for accessibility of facilities for robots are nearly the same as the general requirements for accessibility of the same premises for humans. Considering that or most robots are wheeled robots, this means that the robot should be able to, that we need to have flat surfaces, and the robot should be able to move around. This means that the physical barriers like steps, doors, handles, or lifts with doors that are not sliding, but you need to pull them. Then this creates these physical barriers that do not allow the robot to perform their tasks. Now, imagine that if you have if you run a restaurant and your restaurant is divided into two parts, and there's one step between them. Practically, you will be able to serve with the delivery robot only half of the restaurant, because the robot will not be able to climb these 17 or 20 centimeters of the step to go to serve the other half. If we're talking about a hotel, we need the robot to be able to connect to the lift system of the hotel in order to call the lift, to tell it when to which floor it needs to go. It needs to be able to know where exactly in the hotel it is located, so that it can deliver the items in front of the room of the respective room. Practically, most of the requirements are about physical accessibility, but and they coincide with the accessibility for wheelchair access.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. Probably the main barrier nowadays for delivery robots is not an economical barrier, because the prices nowadays are, let's say, affordable, more than affordable actually. But yeah, are architectural barriers.
Yeah.
In my speaking about some of my colleagues, always I focus a lot in the human robot interaction. No, I think that in the service industry in general, like for example, tourism, hospitality, restaurant, healthcare, the human robot interaction is one of the critical points for adoption. Actually, not just from the point of view of let's say guests or clients, but I think even maybe more important from the perspective of operators. How do you think the relationship, let's say relationship between humans and robots will evolve?
Very interesting question. Depends on the type of robot and depends on the preferences of humans. I would put it in that way. If we're talking about service robots, then probably there will be little emotional interaction between the humans and the robots, because we're talking about room service delivery robot, cleaning robot, or waiter robot, where you have very short interaction, etc. Although the service delivery will be fun, it will be entertaining, it is not something which will take a lot of time. and the idea is not the communication. Deeper relationships may develop in the future with social robots. They will have a humanoid shape, and probably in the future they will look more and more like humans than they currently do. I'm talking not only about the appearance, but also the level of communication and understanding the context and understanding the emotions, and also presenting emotions. So it is possible that people will start looking at the robots as their companions, as their friends. In some extreme cases, it is also possible that people develop more, how to say, romantic relationships with robots, even in its biological sense. Yeah, there are some cases currently, and some companies are developing sex robots. But probably mostly people will have these as companions and as, how to say, as robotic friends. This is about tourists and households. In companies, in tourism companies, my guess is that mostly companies will be using service robots rather than social robots. And because social robots, they will need to have humanoid shape to facilitate the interaction with the guests. And the humanoid shape is not quite very useful to perform different functions as a waiter or for room service delivery, for cleaning, etc. For these tasks, it's much better to have a more functional type of robot rather than a humanoid one. But tourism employees will need to interact with such robotic colleagues as well.
Yeah, that I think that's a great point, no? Because in the last, let's say, in the last 6 months, people is becoming crazy about the humanoid robots. So everyone is asking me, what do you think? We will see humanoid robots in, I don't know, in hotels or supporting staff in hospitals in the upcoming years. And I guess actually no, because as you say, why the robot has to look like a human being, in the sense maybe the robot is much more efficient having another shape or another kind of skills, probably for delivery, wheels or other kind of solutions are much more efficient from any point of view. So humans look like humans for let's say thousands of millions of years of evolution, but robots doesn't need to look like human. And probably I think the let's say the evolution in the human robot interaction is connected, is very connected with the evolution in the AI systems. Actually, everything is connected to AI nowadays, from perception to interaction. So let me ask you, how do you see the impact of AI into this? In which areas you will see that will be probably deeper? And just let's say about your vision in the upcoming years.
Yeah, artificial intelligence in tourism. I think that if we look at companies, probably every single aspect of their business. In marketing, you can use artificial intelligence in pricing, for social media posts, to generate marketing plans, to practically for everything in marketing. This is currently quite easy to automate. The question is whether we want it. For in human resource management, also you can draft labor contracts. You can evaluate the performance of employees. You can track the performance of the employees. If necessary, you can use artificial intelligence to evaluate and make a decision. Okay, not decision, but recommendation who to be hired and who to be fired. in the company. From operations perspective, we can use artificial intelligence in robots for serving, for cleaning, etc. For in finance, again, to evaluate the performance, to make decisions about investment, and anything else. Practically everywhere. We can use them to communicate with customers in the form of chatbots. We can use in digital assistants, in voice assistants. We can use artificial intelligence practically everywhere in hotels. The same in the restaurants. For the moment, artificial intelligence cannot replace the food, but artificial intelligence can recommend what to cook based on photos of what you have in the fridge, or based on what were the sales in the restaurant in the previous weeks, and what's in the warehouse. So it's
Actually,
many applications.
Yeah, actually, let's say 1 year ago, more or less, I think more or less 1 year ago, I tried just playing with the GPT. I tried to, let's say, make GPT play the role of like a executive chef assistant, more or less, to support professionals in developing menus. Actually, I really stress the system, because I tried to develop, like, let's say, the menu organization for a big resort for an entire week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And of course, you need to use the right prompts. You really need to supervise and guide the system, because at the end, it's not a human. So still, the system has some kind of a lack of empathy for certain aspects, but the outcome were incredible. The power of, let's say, calculation for quantities, variations, was really incredible. Actually, I was quite surprised, because it's a powerful tool using using the proper way.
This may I just jump in here, because the example that you gave is excellent. Now think what will happen in 5 or 10 years or 50 years ahead into the future, when these systems become much more intelligent and capable, including when they can provide extremely personalized offers based, for example, on your current medical condition. But I also have some concern about this, because it may turn out that we transfer too much, we delegate too much decision-making authority to artificial intelligence. The problem is not that AI will make the decisions, or that it will make mistakes. Humans, we make mistakes a lot. However, my concern is that in the future we may lose some skills. And think about navigation with Google Maps. We rely a lot on Google Maps, and then when we need to reach from point A to point B without Google Maps, sometimes we may freak out. We may not cope quite well, because we are used to rely on this. So, and a skill that is not used, that will be lost. So this is one of the big disadvantages of Robonomics, that over reliance on AI may lead to loss of some skills. And for example, we may lose our human creativity skills, how to design the menu and how to cook, but we will develop the skill how to ask ChatGPT to develop the menu. So we will develop other skills, but not the ones directly related with the menu. So this is one big concern that we need to take into consideration.
Yeah, you are right. That the key, let's say the key point. No, uh, using the AI like an assistant, and not let's become the AI the, let's say, the main actor, because
Yeah.
yeah. So changing topic. Yeah, probably one of the main concerns nowadays, and we live in Europe, so we know very well, is sustainability. Everything
Mhm.
is about sustainability. Actually, now there are big plans and economical funding from the European Union to support the Industry
Mhm.
5.0. So, how do you think that robonomics can support or impact sustainability in the tourism industry?
Yeah. The robonomic economic system definitely will be a much more sustainable economic system than now, because it will have a lot of data. The economic agents that make decisions about how much to produce, what to produce, when to produce it, at what prices, what to order from suppliers, etc. They will have much more information. This means that we will have more efficient economic decisions. And not only this, the actual production of the units will be more effective and efficient, because you will not need to produce hundreds of thousands of units, and then let's say significant percentage of this be to be scrapped because it's this product is out of fashion or else. You may produce small portions, you may produce small units, and still enjoy the economies of scale, which we currently which the current big factories enjoy, because you'll be able to produce small quantities at low prices. This is the key. Uh, um, by decreasing, we cannot completely eliminate it, but by making better forecasts, by making the production process more efficient, and ordering just the quantities that are necessary for the production process, then artificial intelligence is going to make the whole economic system much more sustainable. Now, this, however, comes at a cost, and the cost is about the environmental cost is about the electricity consumption. So we will need to have much greater production of electricity than we currently have, or at least to have much more efficient computers in order to deal with the increased energy consumption of the technological systems in the future. This is from environmental point of view. If we look at economic point of view, again, we will have more greater sustainability, because because when you have local factories, local suppliers, more money will go to the local community. But it will come also at a cost, an economic cost, because fewer people will actually be involved. So the share of labor costs within the overall costs of tourism services will decrease. And then, from a social point of view, artificial intelligence may be used for social good, to have equal pay, for example, between men and women, because currently there's a significant gender pay gap. I would say in most countries in the world. But here we have a big problem. We need to be able to feed AI with proper data, because if we have biases in the data, then the decisions of AI will also be biased, and biased decisions, they do not contribute to social sustainability. We need to be sure that there are controls in these mechanisms.
Yeah, probably data is one of the big challenges for the adoption of AI, for a realistic and for realistic
Mhm.
adoption of AI in companies. Just we spoke about sustainability. What do you think about, let's say, social sustainability? Now people start to speak about robot rights and duties. Many
Mhm.
people propose a universal tax on robots to probably fund a potential universal income for people in this robonomics future that we are talking about. What do you think about those points?
Very interesting things. I will address two of them: robot rights and robot taxes in a reverse order. For robot taxes, I don't think they're feasible because because in order to tax something, you need to provide a very strict legal definition of the item. And the moment you provide a legal definition of a robot, then robot manufacturers, they will find a way to produce a technology that will go beyond this legal definition somehow. Second, different robots, they have different productivity. They used for different purposes. It's one way to tax an industrial robot, which will be used to manufacture cars. It's a different story to tax your robotic vacuum cleaner at home. So these are different robots for different tasks. You have to be very clear what you use this. What to tax these robots for. I'm personally quite skeptical about robot taxes. Probably some countries will attempt this, but I'm not. But this will be a populist decision rather than an economic one. Probably a better solution regarding the taxes is to have a turnover tax or transaction tax. So, for example, 1% of every transaction, regardless whether we're talking on financial markets or booking a hotel or payment of the salary, etc., to go as a tax. So in that way, it will be much possible to collect substantial amount of money, and this can be done automatically without considering the costs, and practically with zero bureaucracy, because in an automated economy where all payments are digital, you don't have cash payments, then this will be very easy. From every transaction, immediately 1% goes as tax. And this is much more feasible than robotic taxes. Regarding robot rights, this has been discussed for more than a decade now, and I also made a research in Bulgaria, empirical research in Bulgaria about this topic, together with David Gunkel. We asked over 200 respondents in the country what they think about whether robots can have rights, and whether they should be given rights, whether they can have rights per se, and whether they should be given rights regardless whether they can or not. What we found is that respondents perceive robots as slaves. We gave them 26 rights and obligations. And what we found is that people think that robots should follow the orders of humans as they are, that they should comply to the legal system of the country, but that they should be treated fairly, but they should not. But they do not have the right to receive salary, the right to vote, the right to be elected in public posts, and many other rights. So, if you see what rights our respondents consider that are appropriate for robots and what they are not appropriate, this is exactly what the slaves had as rights in the Roman Empire. They had the right to be treated fairly because a slave was an asset that could be bought and sold, but they didn't have the right to receive payment. I think society is not ready for this, but probably from a practical point of view, some rights will be given. For example, right to use for mobile robots, for example, the right to use the transportation system, the right to have a bank account, because for some of these for the artificial autonomous agents, in order to make decisions, they will need to they will need to be able to manage a bank account. Otherwise, they will not be they will not be active economic agents, and other decisions. So, from a practical point of view, some decisions will be given, but robots and autonomous agents will probably not have full rights as we currently have.
Yeah,
Society is
totally.
not ready for this yet, and probably
Yes.
in 40 years it will not be still ready.
Yeah, I totally agree. Probably we'll have to give some kind of, let's say, rights or protection. For example, to delivery robot to just have right to access to the roads because they have to move in public spaces. Probably some kind of movement rights and even protection rights. Not because, of course, they are protected by the property laws and regulations. But in some cases, like I'm thinking about the outdoor delivery robot, will be the target of all kind of maybe no good intention people. So yeah, probably we need some kind of regulations about that to protect also the investment from companies and people that actually are using the robots. So yeah, I don't want to take too much of your time because I can see that it's already more than over 50 minutes that we are speaking talking. The time passed so quickly. Just how do you see the evolution in the upcoming years from the current tourist industry to the robonomics tourist industry? What do you think we will see in the next 5, 10, 20 years? Because it's very interesting because we have a similar conversation in 2020, and most of the things that we discuss actually are happening. So I'm very interested, very curious about your vision.
Um, I think that in the next years, 5 to 10 years, we'll continue to see a lot of technologies that are arriving. Many of these, probably some elements of the metaverse, but we will not have the metaverse as a digital simulacrum of the real world. We will have much higher level of digitalization of hotels and restaurants. We will have hotels which I can name them as digital natives. I mean hotels which were constructed from the very beginning for as suitable for the use of robots. So they will be planned in advance with the idea that robots will be used to clean the swimming pools, to clean the floors, to deliver room service, etc. So this will be we will see such hotels appearing, and there will be more and more. Probably some hotels will rework during their periodic refurbishment and reconstruction some of their facilities to incorporate such changes, to have more technologies. But I also have that we will see a rise of the digital detox movement, which is the opposite of the Robonomics. The digital detox, because people will have a lot of people will see a lot of digitalization in their daily lives, and they will want to see uh, they will want to go somewhere where they will not be bothered by the internet, by something. Of course they will need to have access to their emails, because otherwise they they may be quite upset. But somewhere where you will not have a lot of technologies, and for these hotels, restaurants, etc., this will be their competitive advantage. um, we will have definitely more room service delivery robots, more robots in restaurants, probably not as waiters, but as delivery robots that help the waiters to move dishes. So it will be more like human robot collaboration rather than substitution of the waiters. Yeah, of course, this will not be equally distributed. This will not happen equally everywhere. Probably most of these changes will happen in the big cities, in Asia Pacific, in US. Europe will not be on the forefront of this. I personally think that Europe will be slightly lagging behind. Because of different historical reasons. And yeah, virtual augmented reality, we will see more and more. But generative AI will be more integrated in the different applications. The phone will be more useful. But the profound changes, they will happen probably slightly after that, because we need how to say, a critical mass of these technologies within the industry, within the different services, within agriculture, within tourism, before we have the profound changes in the economies. Because if we have 100 room service delivery robots in the millions of hotels that we have globally, this doesn't make sense. Even 50,000, even 100,000, we need to have many more in order this critical mass of robots to have a substantial impact on the industry.
Yeah, totally agree. For example, about speaking about the hotel delivery robots, maybe nowadays we speak, let's say, globally about maybe 200,000, let's say maybe more, maybe 300,000 units. That is okay. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But yeah, of course, it's not enough to have a decisive impact, in the global, let's say, in the global hotel industry. At least nowadays, no. So yeah, for sure, many things has to happen. And yeah, as you mentioned, I think Asia Pacific is leading the innovation in general, the innovation, but specifically the innovation in robotics, and of course in service and social robots. I think Europe has to work a lot, and our government and rulers should change the strategy, because the current ones are not helping a lot, are not helping a lot, and are not supporting probably the innovation, and are not supporting the generation of new ideas. That's the reality. We have a lot to do. So just maybe changing topic to finish, I would like maybe you tell us about your activity at Tangador Institute and your projects for the future.
Yeah, at Zangador Research Institute, we publish Robonomics, the journal of the automated economy. It is the first journal that is directly focused on this economic system. We publish one volume per year on a continuous basis. So if you want, the journal is open access. You may search for it and download all the articles. Something that is very interesting about this journal is that it is the first journal that publishes AI co-created articles. This means that you, as an author, you can use artificial intelligence to develop your article and publish it. And of course, we are doing also a lot of research related to the economic and the social aspects of automation technologies. This is what we are focusing quite, especially the economic part, because what we see is that the economic aspects of technologies, they are fundamental. If companies do not have economic stimuli to adopt robots, artificial intelligence applications, automation technologies, then they will not use them. And if they don't use them, employees will not use them. And if employees don't use them, customers will not use them. So this is the decision-making order. First, it is the companies, then it is the employees, and at the end, it is the customers. Because customers may want to be able to enter the hotel, to check in the hotel with a kiosk, or to have a room service delivery robot. But if the company, but if the economics does not make sense for the company to use this technology, that's it. That's why we are focusing on this, the economics of service robots, the economics of the metaverse technologies, etc.
Yeah, I totally agree. Economics are the base for everything. No, at the end, if market understand that robots are profitable, are useful, probably robots will be adopted. No, until the market doesn't understand that, anything we can speak many things, but at the end, the robots will not be adopted. I was discussing with a friend yesterday about the adoption of robots, and he asked me, "Okay, what do you think? Maybe what do you think is the critical point for the adoption in Italy?" And I said, the critical point, if you want to launch any social robot or any kind of device for the hospitality industry, the main point are distributors. No, if the distributor finds that your product is interesting, there is a good margin, a good profitability, and the end users can afford it, probably your product will be welcome and adopted. That is the base of anything. Then we can speak if the product is, let's say, is good enough from the technical point of view, software, hardware, whatever. But the main point are, as you say, are economics. Has to be profitable and useful.
Exactly. The economics will drive the technology adoption.
Sure. So Stanislav, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak with you. In the past, I learned many things from you, many things that I have applied in my daily work in robotics, and I continue to learn from you.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure and honor to participate. Thank you.